All right, hello everyone. Good to have you here. Paul Training live streaming again, and wanted to just kind of dive into something that was missed at Max. I mean, in my opinion, I think there was so much going on. I think this kind of flew under the radar. So, and that is Adobe Capture functionality inside of Photoshop. So, super happy to have you here. Feel free to chime in. Let me know where you're from, what you're doing, your social security number, blood type, all that fun stuff. And we'll get into capturing some stuff. So feel free to say hello. I will share my screen right now, actually, and show you Adobe Capture, just so you have sort of an idea of what it can do. So here is Adobe Capture, right? We see it right here. In fact, we can fill the screen with this. Either way, so this is Adobe Capture. I'm going to launch this. Hopefully you can see this now. Just waiting for, it's a trap. All right, so check this out. That's funny. Steve, good to see you. So this is Adobe Capture, right? We have materials you can see below, and you can kind of see my setup. We can capture materials like this leather. So this isn't really applicable to Photoshop, but you can see I could capture that material and refine it, actually add more detail if I want to, save this, and save it to a specific library as well. So that's easy enough. I'm going to save this to space. Okay, just called Material 1. Okay, but my goal is to not show you capture next necessarily. Capture type, by the way. So again, I can see what sort of font that is, shapes as well, colors, looks. Okay, and that's, by the way, gradients. Looks is for video, we get it. Patterns and brushes, right? This is Adobe Capture. That can be kind of running in the background, whatever. Capture stuff when we're out and about, we get it. But let's launch Photoshop, because that same functionality is in Photoshop as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of turn on this. I want to do this like year in orbit. It's kind of what I'm working on, but I'm actually going to let's just turn on this image right here. Okay, just an astronaut, pretty straightforward. Okay, what can I do with this astronaut? Go to your libraries panel, and as long as you have an image selected, it's going to be right down here at the base of your libraries panel. You typically would fill in or add the foreground color or the graphic to your library, where you can create from image. So create content from image, selecting OK. It'll load up. Here it is. This is what I mean by that Adobe Capture functionality directly in Photoshop, right? I can kind of spin that around. You can see that that actually is the zoop. There it is. It is that astronaut, right? I can save that pattern. I can try different patterns too as well, just so you know. Everything that you'd expect from even Capture when I'm dealing with patterns, right? It's the same idea. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Save to CC Libraries. I'll move this over, Save to CC Libraries, and it'll pop up. There it is, right there. Easy enough. Cool. Juan Carlos Hernandez in the house. Afroja, good to have you here, right? So there it is. There's that capture pattern, okay? We can go beyond that, capture shapes. We can capture color themes as well. So I'm just going to save this stuff to CC Libraries. We'll see it pop up right in here, by the way, probably right there, okay? There it is. Boop, that was fast. Too fast for me. Gradients as well. We could draw a gradient, by the way. I drew a line. I can add another color stop and maybe pick this sort of rust color. Maybe we'll grab this one right here. It's a nice little rust color, something like that. Save to CC Libraries, moving that over. You'll see it gets saved right there. Okay, this is what I wanted to get into, because typically I want to actually grab a shape, a vector shape. If you've done this in Photoshop, good to have you here from Belgium, and Sully as well. I would try to posterize an image in Photoshop, and it doesn't work well, to be honest with you. It doesn't get it this clean, right? But that's what I'm doing. I'm just grabbing more detail. I can always erase parts. I actually am going to smooth this on save, right? And it's going to save it to that same library. Clicking save to CC libraries, right? We'll move that out of the way. We'll see it pop up right here, right? As soon as we get the message over here, we'll get the message over there and it'll pop up right here. All right, Hassan, how you doing? Nice to see you as well. Muriel as well. Boom, there it is. Capture shape 1. There it is. And you guessed it, it's exactly what this is. So I can close that. These are all the materials I saved. Gonna move that over and kind of start to use these in my project. I'm thinking instead of this boring eye for orbit, we'll get rid of that eye and we'll drop in this shape that I've captured right there. Drop in this vector shape, shrink it down, rotate it a little bit, get something that we want for this particular project, like that. Cool. Just like that. A year in orbit. Thank you for joining me, Jeet from Vancouver. I've never been to Vancouver. Wow, that's messed up. I must say, been lots of places. I've not been there. Tarkan, we did just meet 10 minutes ago because I was live streaming about 10 minutes ago as well. So this is obviously a vector shape, by the way. You can see it right over here. It's going to be linked to that library item, right? And there's a number of these other assets that we can use as well. So I can maybe start another layout, for instance. Maybe use that gradient right here. So I'm using that gradient, editing that gradient. Actually, let's make it radial. And let's reverse it. There we go, something like that. Looks a little bit better. We see that text. We could also just add a pattern, right? So rather than that funky pattern, I'm going to grab this pattern that I grabbed a second ago by using create from image. And that's what I was showing Madi. Good to have you here. So you can see there's that pattern. Fill. Let's actually change the blend mode. I don't know. I'm just trying some different things, as you can see. And there's that. Maybe even dropping in this guy once more. Maybe this will work. Maybe it won't. Giving it a color overlay of white. Trying a second poster. Wait for it. Color overlay set to normal. I don't know, something like that. Work with me here, people. Yeah, something like that. Cool? You get the idea. Just showing this off, showing you that you now have the ability to capture gradients, patterns, colors as well, all from within Photoshop. And you could, of course, still use Adobe Capture, right? Cool. There it is. Okay. Poster number 1. Poster number 2. Yeah. So let me know what you think. Boom, boom. Can we all agree that this first poster is much better? Right? That's the goal. So again, looks really cool. Hopefully you appreciate this. I like that we kind of snuck this in here, but I feel like word didn't get out enough about being able to create from image patterns, gradients, colors, all the fun things that you could use in Photoshop. So that's all I have for you. Anel, good to have you here. Roshan as well. That's all I have for you. Probably a lot to talk about, but I'll be live streaming more stuff in Photoshop this Friday. And yeah, I guess I will, if you don't have any questions, I'm not here to drag this on any longer than it has to be. Just making sure you're aware of it. So thanks Ty and Linda and Derek and everyone and Sebastian. Awesome. Cool. Thanks for joining me. Follow me on social media and we'll be in touch that way. I got some cool things coming that I'm working on, and that's about it. I'm sure you are as well, so share them with me. Would love to see what you're making. Thanks so much for watching, everyone.